The motorcycle industry usually plays follow the leader, but sometimes the engineers go rogue and build something absolutely unhinged. We are talking about scooters with roofs, engines that spin like Doritos, Italian sport bikes trying to be American cruisers and failing miserably. These are the black sheep, the financial disasters that bankrupted companies and cost CEOs their jobs. We dug through the archives of shame and glory to find the single strangest machine from every major manufacturer. Are they misunderstood genius or rolling garbage? Let's roast the designs and find out. Strap in, it's going to get weird. Number 13, Honda NM4 Vultus. We start with this hideous monster. Usually Honda is the company of sensible decisions. They make the Accord, they make the Cub, and of course, the Goldwing. They make bikes that start every time and never offend anyone. They are the beige trousers of the motorcycle world. But in 2014, Honda decided they didn't want to build a motorcycle. They wanted to build a prop for a sci-fi movie about a dystopian future. They gave us the NM4 Vultus. Just look at it. It looks like Batman's toilet after number 2. It was designed by a young design team in their 20s who were reportedly inspired by Japanimation and cyberpunk. The result is a scooter cruiser hybrid that is low, long, and covered in matte black plastic stealth panels that look like they should absorb radar waves. It has a massive front fairing that is wider than a small car, creating a huge hole in the air, but the rear end is skinny and tucked in like a frightened dog. The rider's seat flips up to become a backrest, which is actually a clever piece of engineering, but the pillion seat is the size of a postage stamp, guaranteeing that you will never take a passenger on a second date. The dashboard changes colors, 25 different colors, depending on your mood or ride mode, because that is what riders were asking for in 2014. I don't care about suspension performance, Honda. Just make my dashboard glow pink when I am feeling cute. It was a bike built for people who didn't ride motorcycles. It was an attempt to capture the gamer demographic, but they forgot that gamers stay inside. It was a catastrophic sales failure. Honda tried to market it to non-riders, thinking the futuristic look would bring in a new demographic of urban commuters. It didn't. Real motorcyclists looked at it and laughed because it was heavy and underpowered. Non-motorcyclists didn't know it existed, because it was too weird to be advertised during football games. The engine was the sensible 670 cubic centimeter parallel twin taken from the NC700X, making a very modest 54 horsepower. It used Honda's dual-clutch transmission, meaning it was an automatic. Mechanically, it is bulletproof because it is a low-stress Honda engine. And that is very unfortunate because that means that they are still out there. The plastic panels, however, are a nightmare to remove for service, turning a simple oil change into a jigsaw puzzle. A new one cost $10,999, which was far too much for a bike with the performance of a lawnmower. It is discontinued and unloved, but strangely, because nobody bought them, they are becoming collectible for people who want to cosplay as Judge Dredd on the weekends. If you've been here a while, you already know what Iron Pulse is about. We drop the essentials, old school, rider-made style, the cap, for long miles and windy days, the T, for the garage, the ride, and everywhere in between, the mug, for early starts and late nights planning the next run. No hype, just the mark. 20% off right now. Link in the description down below. Honda tried to be futuristic and failed spectacularly. Our next manufacturer tried to be safety conscious and created the most embarrassing vehicle ever to wear a German badge. Number 12, BMW C1. This ugly machine is not even the weirdest bike on our list. BMW is known for German precision. They make the GS, the bike that conquered the world. They make the S1000RR, the missile that conquered the track. But in the year 2000, they decided to solve a problem that does not exist. I honestly don't know what they were thinking. I think the engineers were drunk when they designed this machine. They asked, what if a motorcycle was as safe as a car, but as inconvenient as a bike? Enter the BMW C1. This is a scooter with a roof. It has a windshield with a wiper. It has a roll cage. And most terrifying of all, it has seat belts. BMW marketed this as the bike you could ride without a helmet. They wanted to attract car drivers who were scared of falling off. This is probably the worst design ever. How in the world did someone approve this? While I'm talking about it, I should apologize to you because this isn't a bike. This thing should be in a completely different category. Think about the physics here. Motorcycles rely on a low center of gravity to handle well. BMW put a heavy aluminum cage 5 feet in the air. The result was a bike that wanted to tip over if you sneezed. It was so top-heavy that BMW had to invent a massive lever system to deploy the center stand because the bike was too unstable for a side stand. If you forgot to deploy the stand properly, the bike would fall over. And because you were strapped in, you would fall over with it, trapped inside your little plastic cage like a hamster. It was a marketing disaster. I think they only sold 5 of them. The only people who bought this thing were 45-year-old virgins, so they could finally step into a hole once in a while. While some European countries allowed riders to go helmetless, many places like the United Kingdom said no way, forcing riders to wear a helmet inside the roll cage. This looked ridiculous and felt claustrophobic. It defeated the entire purpose of the design. It was powered by a small 125 or 176 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine built by Rotax. The smaller engine made a pathetic 15 horsepower, struggling to push the heavy cage up any significant hill. Top speed was maybe 64 miles per hour if you were going downhill with a tailwind. A new one cost roughly $6,000 in today's money, which was astronomical for a scooter. It was discontinued in 2002 after BMW lost millions on the project. It remains a curiosity, a vehicle for the person who wants all the danger of motorcycling with none of the wind in their face. It is the Segway of the motorcycle world. We are diving deep into the bizarre history of two wheels. If you have ever seen one of these freaks on the road, click that like button. No, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you think this is the most ugly bike you've ever seen, hit like. Otherwise, nobody would like this video. The Germans tried to make a car on 2 wheels. Our next manufacturer tried to revolutionize the engine itself, using a technology that involves spinning triangles and massive heat. Number 11, Suzuki RE5. What do you get when a bike catches something it shouldn't? A bump it can't hide, because this is the first motorcycle with an STD. In the 1970s, everyone thought the piston engine was dead. The future was the rotary. Mazda was doing it, so Suzuki said, "Hold my sake," or "hold my sack," and built the RE5. This was a massive gamble that Suzuki hoped would redefine motorcycling forever. It is the only Japanese production motorcycle powered by a Wankel rotary engine. The engine spins like a Dorito instead of pumping up and down. It was incredibly smooth, but incredibly hot. The engineering challenges were immense, requiring multiple cooling systems and complex oiling to keep the rotor tips from melting. But the styling, the styling. The designer, Giorgetto Giugiaro, decided to lean into the rotary theme. He made the instrument cluster a cylinder that looked like a soup can. When you turned the key, a plastic cover slid open to reveal the gauges like a spaceship airlock opening. He made the tail light a cylinder. It looked like the bike was designed by a geometry teacher on acid. It nearly bankrupted Suzuki. The engine was thirsty, unreliable, and the heat from the exhaust was so intense it could melt the asphalt at a stoplight if you idled too long. The tin can styling was universally hated by the conservative riding public. Suzuki panicked and redesigned it with normal instruments a year later, naming it the A model, but the damage was done. Nobody trusted the technology. The engine was a 497 cubic centimeter single rotor Wankel, making 62 horsepower. It weighed 507 pounds, which was heavy for the time. It cost $2,475 in 1975, making it a premium purchase. Reliability was terrible. The rotor tips wore out, the bike flooded easily, and it required specialized mechanics who knew black magic to keep it running. It was discontinued after just 2 years. Suzuki took the unsold bikes, dumped them into the ocean off the coast of Japan, allegedly, to create an artificial reef, and went back to making simple piston engines. It stands as a monument to engineering hubris. Quick pit stop. I went out and put together a short list of the best rider tools and gadgets, the stuff that actually saves your day on the road. Here are all the essentials. It's all linked in the description under Grab the Gear here. It doesn't cost you anything extra, it just helps support the channel. Now back to it. Suzuki failed with the engine. Our next manufacturer failed with the suspension. They tried to reinvent the front fork and ended up with a robot leg. Number 10, Yamaha GTS1000. In 1993, Yamaha looked at the telescopic fork, a design that had worked perfectly for 50 years, and said, "This is garbage. They spent millions developing the RAD front end, which stood for Rationally Advanced Design Development. It has no forks. The front wheel is held on by a massive single-sided swing arm, just like the rear wheel. It steers via a complex system of linkages and ball joints. It looks like the landing gear of an F-16 fighter jet. The theory was sound. Separate the steering forces from the braking forces. You could brake hard into a corner and the bike wouldn't dive. The geometry remained stable, keeping the headlight level and the suspension compliant, but in practice it felt numb. It felt like you were steering by fax machine. There was no direct connection between your hands and the tire contact patch. The bike was also incredibly wide and looked like a bulbous sport tour that had eaten too many pies. It was a technocratic solution to an emotional problem. It was too expensive and too weird. Motorcyclists are conservative. We like forks. We understand forks. The GTS was the answer to a question nobody asked. It used a detuned 1002 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine from the FZR1000, making 100 horsepower. A new one cost $12,999, which was astronomical in 1993. Reliability of the engine was legendary because it was a Yamaha inline-4. But if you crashed and damaged that front suspension arm, it was a total loss. The parts are now made of unobtainium. It was discontinued quickly and is now a cult classic for engineering nerds. But for the average rider, it was a heavy, expensive complication. Yamaha tried to be clever. Our next manufacturer just tried to be huge. They built a 6-cylinder monument to excess that weighed as much as a small moon. Number 9, Kawasaki Z1300 Voyager. When Honda released the Goldwing, Kawasaki got jealous. They didn't just want to compete, they wanted to crush. So they built the Z1300, a 6-cylinder behemoth. But the weirdest version was the Voyager, a fully dressed touring bike designed to cross continents without stopping. It is the size of a car. It has a liquid-cooled inline-6 engine that is wider than the rider. It weighs nearly 900 pounds. Kawasaki then loaded it with every gadget from the 1980s: a cassette deck, an onboard compressor, enough lights to land a plane, and a digital dashboard that looked like a calculator from 1982. It was so heavy that Kawasaki had to invent a special stand just to park it without it sinking into the Earth's crust. It is weird because it represents the absolute peak of the bigger is better philosophy before everyone realized that lighter is better. It found a niche among people who wanted to tow a boat with their motorcycle, but it was expensive to make and terrifying to ride at low speeds. If it started to tip over, you didn't save it. You just jumped off and prayed it didn't crush you. It managed a horrific 25 miles per gallon, meaning you spent half your tour at a gas station. The engine was a 1,286 cubic centimeter inline, 6 making 120 horsepower. It cost over $6,000 new, positioning it as a luxury vehicle. The engine was actually solid, but the electronics were a nightmare. The stator often failed because of all the lights and gadgets, leaving you stranded with a dead battery. It was discontinued and replaced by the Concours and Vulcan lines. Today, seeing a Z1300 Voyager is like seeing a dinosaur. It is majestic, clumsy, and clearly from a different era. Kawasaki went big. Our next manufacturer went agricultural. This is the only scooter ever made by a company known for V-twins and leather vests. Number 8, Harley-Davidson Topper. Did you ever see a mailbox and thought, man, that would be fast with an engine? No? Well, you don't need to, because that's already done by Harley-Davidson. And yes, Harley-Davidson made a scooter. And yes, it is exactly as weird as you think. Produced from 1960 to 1965, the Topper was Harley's attempt to fight Vespa and capitalize on the scooter boom. How the hell did this engineer got this job? My nephew Jimmy would do a better job than this. The worst part is, it didn't even have a Kickstarter. It didn't have an electric starter. It had a pull cord, like a lawnmower. Perfect combination, powering a motor-powered mailbox like a lawnmower. Imagine pulling up to a biker bar, parking next to a panhead, and then having to yank a rope to start your bike. It was humiliating. The body wasn't steel like a Vespa. It was fiberglass. It was a big square box on wheels. It looked like a refrigerator laying on its side. It used a CVT transmission called the Scootaway Drive, which sounds like a cartoon invention. It was mocked relentlessly. It was too heavy, too slow, and it overheated constantly because the engine was enclosed in a fiberglass box with no airflow. Harley riders hated it because it wasn't a real bike. Scooter riders bought Vespas instead because they were stylish and European. The engine was a 165 cubic centimeter, two-stroke single making 9 horsepower. Top speed was maybe 46 miles per hour. A new one cost $430. Reliability was poor. The pull cord often snapped, leaving you stranded. The overheating seized engines regularly. It was discontinued and is now a hilarious footnote in Harley history. If you own one, you are the king of irony. We are uncovering the skeletons in the closet. If you think Harley should bring back the pull-start scooter, subscribe and tell us in the comments. We need to know who is crazy enough to want this. Harley failed at scooters. Our next manufacturer is Italian, and they tried to build an American cruiser. The result was an ergonomic torture device. Number 7, Ducati Indiana. Ducati makes race bikes. They make red, fast, sexy machines. They do not make cruisers. But in the mid-80s, under the ownership of Cagiva, they looked at the American market and said, we need a chopper. They built the Indiana. It looks like a Ducati monster wearing a self-made Halloween costume of a Harley Sportster. It has a raked-out fork, a step seat, and a sissy bar, but it still has the L-twin sport bike engine. The ergonomics were baffling. The foot pegs were forward, but the handlebars were weirdly low. It forced your body into a clam shape that was painful after 10 minutes. It was named Indiana because, well, nobody knows. Maybe they thought Indiana was the capital of America. It was a sales flop of epic proportions. Cruiser riders didn't want a high-revving Desmo engine that needed valve adjustments every 5 minutes. Ducati riders didn't want a cruiser that looked like a confused parts bin special. It satisfied nobody. The engine was a 650 cubic centimeter Panta L twin, making 53 horsepower. It was expensive for what it was. Reliability was questionable as it had Ducati electrics from the 80s, which is code for it works when it wants to. It also had complex carburetors that were impossible to tune. It was discontinued after a very short run. Ducati pretended it never happened and eventually built the Diavel, which is a cruiser done right. The Indiana is the embarrassing yearbook photo of the Ducati family. Ducati made a bad cruiser. Our next manufacturer made a bike that runs on farm fuel. It vibrates so hard it can loosen your teeth. Number 6, Royal Enfield Taurus Diesel. India loves diesel. It is cheap. So Royal Enfield decided to shove a commercial diesel generator engine into a bullet frame. The result was the Taurus. It is a diesel motorcycle. It sounds like a cement mixer. It produces almost 0 horsepower, but enough torque to pull a plow. The vibration is so violent that it famously cracked frames and caused nerve damage in riders' hands. It had a top speed of maybe 45 miles per hour, but it took 3 business days to get there. However, it got 200 miles per gallon. It was the most efficient motorcycle ever made, provided you didn't value your comfort or hearing. In India, it worked for a while as a workhorse. But as emission laws tightened and people realized they didn't like having numb hands, it fell out of favor. The engine was a 325 cubic centimeter, single-cylinder diesel, making a whopping 6.5 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque. Used models are very cheap in India, but rare imports elsewhere. Reliability of the engine was infinite. It ran forever, but it vibrated the rest of the bike to pieces. Bolts would literally unscrew themselves and fall off while riding. It was discontinued. It is a legend of efficiency and a nightmare of ergonomics. It is the only bike where you can fill up from the same pump as a semi-truck. The diesel was rough. Our next bike was designed by a famous French architect who designed chairs, and it looks like an egg. Number 5, Aprilia Moto 6.5. In 1995, Aprilia hired Philippe Starck. He is a famous designer known for lemon squeezers and furniture. He had never designed a motorcycle. Aprilia said, "Do whatever you want." He drew an egg. The whole thing is just curves, and the longer I stare at it, the more I start to like it. Yeah, I'm a sucker for curves, especially on a back road. The tank, the frame, the exhaust, everything is a soft, organic, sexy curve. It looks like it was melted. The radiator is spherical. The colors were orange and silver cream. It was designed to be a city bike for non-motorcyclists. Starck believed that mechanical parts were ugly, so he tried to hide them or smooth them over. The result was a bike that looked like a kitchen appliance. It was too weird even for the 90s. The suspension was too soft. The exhaust roasted your leg because form triumphed over function. Real riders hated it because it looked soft. Design students loved it, but design students don't buy motorcycles. It used the reliable 650 cubic centimeter Rotax single from the BMW F650, making 42 horsepower. Reliability was good mechanically, but the plastic bodywork becomes brittle and cracks over time. and finding replacement egg parts is impossible. It was discontinued and now sits in museums. It is a reminder that just because you can design a nice chair, it doesn't mean you can design a motorcycle. Aprilia made art. Our next manufacturer made a styling statement that accidentally invented a new category. It has 3 exhaust pipes on one side. Number 4, Triumph X75 Hurricane. In the early 70s, Triumph was in trouble. They needed a hit. They hired Craig Vetter, an American customizer, to make the BSA Rocket 3 look cool. It has one piece of bodywork. The tank, the seat base, and the side panels are all one molded fiberglass unit painted in bright orange or yellow. But the party trick is the exhaust. It has 3 upswept mufflers stacked on the right side of the bike. It looks like a pipe organ. It was actually designed to be a BSA, but BSA went bankrupt before it launched, so they slapped a Triumph badge on it. It was a factory custom before factory customs existed. It was a sensation in magazines, but it was expensive and impractical. The tiny tank meant you ran out of gas every 80 miles. The exhaust cooked your right leg. It used a 740 cubic centimeter inline triple engine, making 58 horsepower. Today, used models are highly collectible, trading for over $25,000. Reliability is typical 70s British. It leaks oil, and the electrics are by Lucas, the Prince of Darkness, requiring constant tinkering. It was discontinued after a short run. It was weird, beautiful, and completely impractical. The perfect motorcycle. Triumph was sleek. Our next manufacturer decided to build a spaceship. It is the most polarizing touring bike ever made. Number 3, Victory Vision. Victory wanted to beat the Harley Road Glide. They decided to look to the future. They designed the Vision, and I think they did that blind, with no vision. It looks like something from the Jetsons. It has swooping, liquid lines that completely enclose the chassis. The rear tail light is a giant V that looks like a warp drive. The front fairing is massive and incorporates the mirrors in a way that makes the bike look 10 feet wide. It was bold, it was aerodynamic, it was incredibly comfortable, but it looked like an alien spacecraft landed at Sturgis. Traditional bikers didn't know what to make of it. It created a cult following. People who rode them loved them. The wind protection was unmatched, but the styling was too extreme for the mass market. It didn't steal enough sales from Harley. It used a 106 cubic inch, 1,731 cubic centimeter V-twin making 92 horsepower. A new one cost over $20,000. Reliability was excellent. The Victory engine is bulletproof, and the belt drive is low maintenance. It was discontinued when Polaris killed the Victory brand to focus on Indian. It remains the most futuristic bagger ever built. If you ride one, people will ask you what planet you are from. Victory tried to be the future. Our next manufacturer tried to hide a Harley engine inside a plastic bubble. It is the weirdest sport bike America ever produced. Number 2, Buell R1000 Battle Twin. Eric Buell is a genius, but sometimes geniuses do weird things. The RR1000 was his attempt to make a Harley Sportster engine aerodynamic enough to race. He thought, let's put a big helmet in front of the bike. It looks like a giant white egg. The fairing completely encloses the front wheel, the engine, and the rider's legs. It was designed in a wind tunnel to slice through the air. Underneath that plastic bubble is a primitive Harley X R1000 racing engine that vibrates like a paint shaker. The chassis was innovative, using the engine as a stressed member and mounting the rear shock under the engine. But the juxtaposition of high-tech aero and low-tech tractor engine was jarring. It was fast in a straight line, but it was heavy and expensive. Only 50 were ever made. It was a homologation special that never really took off. The engine was a 998 cubic centimeter V-twin, making 77 horsepower. A new one cost $12,495 in 1986, which was huge money. Reliability is non-existent, as it is a hand-built race bike. The fairings are prone to cracking from the vibration. It was discontinued and is now a unicorn. It showed the world that Eric Buell was thinking differently. Even if the world wasn't ready for a Sportster in a spacesuit, we have reached the summit of weirdness. Before we reveal the number 1 freak, comment below. Which of these bikes would you actually be brave enough to ride to a bike night? We have seen rotaries, diesels, and eggs, but our number 1 bike is the weirdest because it was built for an army on skis. Number 1, Husqvarna 256 Automatic Military. Husqvarna is known for dirt bikes, but in the late 60s, the Swedish army needed a bike for their soldiers. They had specific requirements. It had to be ridden by new recruits who couldn't shift gears, and it had to be ridden in the snow. It is an automatic dirt bike. It uses a centrifugal clutch system, but that's not the weird part. It came with S-keys. Yes, spring-loaded metal skis attached to the foot pegs. The rider would keep their feet on the skis to stabilize the bike in deep snow, while the automatic transmission handled the power. You steered with the handlebars in your feet, skiing along at 40 miles per hour while carrying a machine gun. It also had a leather tank bag for maps and tools, and it was painted olive drab green. It is the most specific niche motorcycle ever created. It worked brilliantly for the Army, but when they sold surplus models to civilians, people found them terrifying. The automatic transmission had a freewheel mode, meaning if you let off the gas going downhill, you had zero engine braking. You just accelerated towards your doom. It used a 250 cubic centimeter two-stroke single engine with a 4-speed automatic transmission. Used models are rare collector's items, costing over $5,000. The engine was tough, but the automatic gearbox was complex to service. And the skis? Well, they work great until you hit a patch of dry asphalt. It is the weirdest, coolest, most functional military vehicle ever. It proves that sometimes the weirdest ideas are the ones that actually solve the problem. Click on the video on your screen now so you can continue the ride. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to visit our store and like this video.